All right, this video is going to show us how to do a quick scoreboard. This can be triggered by different events. So I've set it up that if a person stands here, it would add to Red Point's team. So like for a Conquer game or something like that, we have to be in a certain area. So if I stand on these blocks, I have it set up that it will count how many seconds I'm standing on here, and it will display the score here, right? So I'm standing here for a few seconds, I step off of it, I stood there for about 2 or 3 seconds, it will count the time I've been there, okay? You can also trigger this by destroying blocks. So let's say I have a game where I need to destroy blocks on the other team or collect my own blocks. If I destroy these blocks, it will display the number there. Okay, and it keeps track of how many blocks I've broken. And then this can then trigger something else. Okay, so I'm going to show us how we did this here. I'll reset this here. Okay, so I have a new project open now. So the first thing we need to do is we need to set up the variables. This runs off of variables. So we're going to go to variables, okay? In my goal, I have 2 teams. This could be just one team score, or it could be both teams score, or 3 teams or 4 teams. But in my example, I need 2 teams, so I'm going to put down red score is going to be a variable. Make another variable called blue score. Okay, it can be as many as you want, or you can just call it score if you just have one team with a score. Okay. So when we start it, we're going to set red score and set blue score to 0. Okay. A chat command, I'm going to just test this as we run. I'm going to call this R, and actually get rid of this one for now. And I want myself to say the current score so I can test this as I'm building it. So set blue score to 0, set red score to 0. So that's when we start the game. No one has any points. And just to test it, I want myself to say the current score. So red score, check that. And then let me duplicate this. And we'll call this B to check the blue score and make this blue score. Okay, so I push run. If I type the letter R, it should be 0. If I type B, I should also say 0. So I'm just testing the score that it works right now. Okay. Next step. Now I need to add points when I do something. So the triggers can be lots of different things. I'm going to show you just 2 triggers here, 2 events that can trigger. So you can do on place block, or if you break a block, or if you're standing on a block. So let's do on breaking a block. So let's say if I break blue concrete. Okay. If I break blue concrete, I want to change my score by 1. That's set. Change score by 1. Okay. I'm going to duplicate this again, and I'll make this for red. Change red score by 1. Okay. So this would be just my simple event. Okay. If I break 2 blue blocks, I should get a blue score of 2. Okay. So I'm going to go over here and test it. 1, 2. Type the letter B. I should say 2 next. I didn't say 2. I said 0. Let's see. Why didn't this work? Set blue score to 0. Is this the right block? Blue concrete. Yep. Show blue score. Why didn't that work? 1, 2. 1, 2. Type the word B. There it is. Now it says 2. I guess I didn't push right. So it says my blue score. Okay. It will be the same for that one. So now I want to display this score. So I'm going to go to loops. Go to forever. Okay. And now we're going to use this command where it prints a shape. Okay. And we'll run this under here for now just to test it. Okay. On chat command B, say blue score. Okay. I also just wanted to print blue score. Okay. Make it out of these blocks. We'll make it this block for now. And let's have it make it just above me so we can test it. All right. So when I start blue score, I'll break 2 blocks, a couple blocks. It'll remember that. When I push B, it will say the blue score in chat, and it will print it in blocks just above me, 10 blocks above me. So let's try that. All right. So I'll break 1, 2, 3. I'll type the chat command B. And if I look up, it typed the letter for me, 3 blocks. Okay, so that's a good way to test it. But now I kind of want a scoreboard like this, 3 and 6, right? And I don't want to have to keep typing commands to keep checking the score. Okay, let's put these blocks back. Let's see here again. Okay, so now we know it works. I'm going to put this in forever. I'm going to add a pause command just before, so it refreshes every second or so. And I'm also going to do a world position. Okay. So I'm going to fly over to that position and check the position. I already wrote it down, so I don't have to waste too much time doing that. That position where that blue letter is negative 70, 21, 71. Okay. Okay, so I have, it's going to do this forever. Put the blue score, and I'm going to duplicate this for my red score as well. Change this to red score. I'm going to make this, since that's left, make it redstone. And then I'll also write down the number I wrote down previously. Again, you're going to fly over there and see what positions you want to put it at. So my red is about there. So you see my coordinates in the top left. Write those numbers down. I'm going to put it over there. Oh, I didn't fix it yet. Let me fix that number here. It is going to be, what is it going to be? Negative 69. Negative 69. 23, 81. I also need to change these. You're going to have to do some testing on which direction it needs to go. I've already tested this before, so I know it needs to go on the north axis. Okay. All right. So when I run this, both of these should turn into zeros. There we go. So now we have our score of 0, 0. Here's my old one. I'll kind of get rid of this for now. All right. So there's my score refreshing over and over again. Okay. And now if I go break blue blocks as my trigger, my score will appear over there. Okay. So there's lots of different triggers we can set up. Right now I have on this broken. Another way to set this up is if my player stands on something. So I'm gonna go to positions. Actually, no, I'll do this. First, we need a loop. We need this to run forever in the background. We need some logic to test something. Okay. So I'm gonna grab this one to test for. And we're gonna test, we'll do the blue one since we're closer to the blue side. Blue concrete, there you are. So if test for blue concrete at this position, this is the exact position of you. But let's say you want to test under your feet. So if you're standing on it, that'd be -1. Okay. It's usually a good way to test it. So if you're standing on something, you get points for it. We're gonna add a pause command. So every second, it will check for this, and every second it will give them a score. If you don't put a score here, it's just gonna instantly refresh as fast as the computer ticks, and your score will be super, super high very quickly. So we're gonna add a pause command to it, and then we'll change the score by 1, just like we did here before with this trigger. Okay, so I think that's correct. For red team, you'll do the same thing. Just make sure you change red concrete and red score. Everything else needs to be the same. So now, if I go stand on top of blue concrete, it refreshes to 0, and then it will start counting the seconds I've standing on it. I set it for 1 second, or 2 seconds, maybe 3, and it will count those points. Yep, that's for 2 seconds. Okay. So again, here is how you do points really quickly. Okay, you can take a screenshot of this, but here's how we do points.